Look what we have here. So, I finally got new traps, which is really exciting because these are new to me and new to the world. It's never happened to me before, but it's that time of the year and I'm really excited. The one thing that I'm sure you've heard is whenever you get these new traps, you've got to put on new bridles. And when I put on new bridles, after a lot of experimenting with silly or other ways, I've come to this conclusion that we do 2 pieces of rope in case one breaks, and that we have to have the spinner real tight so that the rope actually spins inside here, which does, I think, make a difference, because when it's floppy, I don't feel like it spins as well when it's settling on the bottom. I guess it doesn't really have much spinning to do once it's on the bottom. But here in Massachusetts we have to use, well, I think in a lot of places you have to use a weak link. And the weak link that I use is a 3-foot piece of weak rope that I splice into the buoy line. And if at least the first trap in your trawl doesn't have a spinner, it'll actually unwind that low breaking poundage weak link, and that's really annoying. So I've gone all spinners, and I find when they're not flopping around on a rope, on a bridle, it has a better chance of the rope spinning. But let's go check it out. First step is, and hardest step, I would say, is cutting these ropes for the bridle, because no matter how many times I've measured, somehow I end up with long ones or short ones. It's alright. Let's see it. So step number 1 is put on the old hot knife. Oh, I love that sound. So generally, I would normally have a table, but we've got big things going on here. We've got a garage I'm trying to clear out to tear down, and then also I'm building a porch. But usually I'll have a table and then measured marks so that I can measure it to it. But I don't have that anymore. So we take rope from the giant spool, the amount that I think is about right. I would say it's about 5 feet, but I could be wrong. And we cut it. Hot rope, hot knife. It's kind of important to use the hot knife instead of just cutting, so that the ends don't unravel, which is super annoying. Although, if you put this together this one time and they unravel after you've got it together, I feel like that's kind of like an extra added strength point in your splice, because then it becomes too fat to come undone. Healthy. So one thing with these bridles is that I have done some research. And float rope, polypropylene, not only gets it easily sun damaged, it's also weaker than the sink rope. I don't remember what the weight ratio is, but I want to say it's at least a couple thousand pounds stronger, the tensile strength. So I was able to get 45 traps, which is really exciting for me because The 100 traps I have already are all old and falling apart. So this year I'll have more traps, and everyone says new traps fish better. I don't know if that's true or not. Might be true with lobsters, because I never did that well with all my used traps. But we'll see. All right. We'll do one more. So everybody does this stuff differently. And like I was saying before, the way that I do it, I'm not sure is any better than any other way. But I'll show you it. So I've been buying what they now call lazy 8 spinners, because it looks like an 8. But I like it because you can put in 2 ropes. The way I used to do it, or the way all the traps I used to have had it, where they would take a thing, either make a loop at the top, because if you don't make this loop and one end breaks, the spinner will actually fall off. So make a loop at the top, and then put this guy through it, and then tie the 2 ends to midpoint in the trap. So I've tried midpoint, I've tried bottom, I've tried almost the top where it's still reinforced to see if it lays better up against the hull of the boat when you're pulling it, but I found the middle and tight has been the best. So let me show you a quick tie of one of these. You need the thimble for the last one. Thimble? Yeah, that's a thimble. I don't know if this is a great view or not, but we'll try it. It's a tough time of day. But alright. The way I've always done these is with the half hitch. Not the half hitch, the clove hitch. So I don't know how familiar you are with clove hitches. For the gilt goat beach murderer, I think he was also called the clove hitch killer. But anyway. So it's supposed to look like this. Before you hunker down on it. So clove hitch, pull it over. It's very easy to do when this is loose. You open up a hole for it. Stick your little end in. There you go. Now we need our lazy 8, which I have no idea what I did with it. So I'll go get one. Perfect, we're back. One spinner stuck on there. Usually want it to be somewhere in the middle. Start at the top. I use 2, try to use the reinforced part of the corner. And this might be short because I went too long with this bottom one. Amateur move. go. This is a natural fiber, like you know, old rope, but I still feel like it'll have some stretch for once it gets wet, even though theoretically natural fibers don't have any stretch. There you go. Clove hitch. I've actually done this before where I've put it over here to have it tilt a certain way when you pull it up. But it's such a minute difference that I'm not sure it actually makes it any easier. There you go, pull it real tight. Spin it to open it up. Everything's harder with gloves. But these new traps actually have pretty sharp ends. There you go, one side. And the same thing on the other side. I stacked these like a fool. I didn't make enough space around them. So I didn't really think about it. Just trying to do it quick before I had to get back to work. Clove hitch. And then a single tuck splice. Again, yeah. Give it a quick little roll to open up a hole. Ooh. Stick it in. You put it in. So you try to make it real tight because I think that they stretch when they get wet, even though they're not supposed to. Don't go too crazy, you don't actually bend the wire, but there you go. Pinch it, keep it from moving. Make that clove hitch. And now, I don't know if I'd call it the hard part, but it's the most time-consuming part of doing this because it's not loose anywhere. It's hard to, you know, unravel this. So what we do is we get out the, what's this called, the marlin spike? It's not a thimble. The thimble is what you use when you splice in a loop. Oop, that means I got some rope there by mistake. Get it in there. The further you go, especially with the new melted end, the easier it is to pull through. Oop, the glove. There you go. So one done. I don't know if you know, but the next step is to, when you're tying it into your trowel, I never know if it's better to tie from the bottom to the top, but what you do is you stick your rope in, then do a figure 8 knot, so it can theoretically spin without causing the trowel to get twisted or the buoy line. There it is. How exciting. Summer's here.